Welcome back everyone to Pontos Fathom Hobbies. This is Season 14, Episode 1 of Eldritch Horror, and we are playing the Return to the Dreamlands, featuring the great old one, Atlach-Natcha, the Dream Weaver. Last time we played against Hypnos, and this time we're going to play against the other great old one. This one is much more Eldritch, strange, kind of a great old one. So let's get into it. So we've set up most of the board. We've set our investigator George Barnaby, the lawyer, as our lead investigator. We'll do a few last setups around the gates, and then we'll kick off turn one. Before we start, quick shout out to our sponsor, Pontos Fathom Press, our other channel we have on YouTube. Is our podcast channel and book review, and we've got a bookstore link below. Our channel isn't monetized, so if you want to go check out some cool Lovecraft stuff, you got the Necromancy of Nyarlathotep, the Hermeticism of Hastur, and the Alchemy of Azathoth. Check out the bookstore. You can also check out our Patreon below. I've been doing a lot of posting into the Patreon, into Board Game Geeks, catching up with some of the miniature paintings and some of the other board games that we're playing. So can support us also here on this channel by your comments, likes, subscribes, ring the bell. You can get notified when the next game comes out. And we've got a huge catalog of Eldritch Horror games. I can't believe we're on Season 14 already. So if you want to go back, check out one of those. There's playlists, and you can watch the whole playlist through. So thanks for your support. Let's get into turn one. Before we do, quick call out to, they had asked us to set aside Atlach-Natcha's the Leng spider, and we have to spawn a gate on Rome, and we need to grab the monsters for that, and we also need to spawn our clues. So we have spawn one monster, and we get a Hound of Tindalos in Rome, and I have to spawn our clues. Atlach-Natcha starts 9 on the Doom track. So we've got 12 in San Francisco. So, sorry guys, the board's a little big. I wanted to put, last time I played, I think I had the Dreamlands board on the side. I want it here right front and center so we can see the action. 12 is somewhere down here. Okay, 2 clues. And let's use the gates to spawn the location of the otherworldly gates. So we can do Unknown Kadath. Comes from London. We can do Tokyo is to the underworld. And finally we can do Rilia is to the moon. So Rilia is to the moon. So maybe we'll have our have Tony Morgan the bounty hunter head toward Rilia. He's also got an expedition though on Arkham. Choices. Let's also have our photographer, Daryl Simmons. Let's have him go off to Tokyo. That's an easy one. And we'll have George Barnaby start to head over to Rome. So our lead investigator from the Atlach-Natcha setup does get a spell. So I'll go ahead and give a random spell. And he gets... the lead investigator gets the markings of Isis is a random pull. So we can go ahead with that. So let's start with George Barnaby, the lawyer. Let's have him, I'm going to have him grab a focus token. And he will also move 1. So we can give him a reroll here. I'll grab him a focus token, and then I'll move him up to Istanbul. And he can do an Istanbul encounter for now on his way to close the gate in Rome. Daryl Simmons, well, also let's give him a focus token as well. We give him a focus. He needs a reroll. Have him go up to Tokyo. And then he can get to that. Each space connected is connected to a local path. So he can do a It says if a gate would spawn on a space containing a dream portal, spawn that gate on the space that corresponds to the dream portal instead. So I guess I can go right to the underworld, or I can stay in Tokyo on my turn. So let's have him just go right to the underworld, and he'll do an underworld encounter since it's more thematic. Then the last one will be, let's have Tony Morgan. He's in a city. He can have a ship token, and let's have him go right to the moon. Let's have him get to the moon as well. So we've already got 2 people on the dream token. Dream board. So we'll start out with just a local encounter for our encounters phase. Our lawyer George Barnaby will do a Istanbul encounter, and that will be an orange. Let's see what we get here. It says Istanbul. You find a card clutched in a dead man's hand. Gain the 5 Pentacles unique asset. You find evidence that he was a member of the esoteric order of Dagon. Now the order is looking for you. Escape will require some bribery. Lose 2 health unless you gain a depth condition. So, yeah, so he'll go ahead and lose his 2 health, and he'll have to gain those back. But wait, if he has a debt condition, he can discard a debt condition. Oh yeah, so let's have him do that. He'll just he has an action, he can discard the debt condition in his next turn. So that's easy for George, because he's a lawyer. He knows how to negotiate debt. Next up is Daryl Simmons, the photographer. He will go ahead and do an underworld encounter. And he gets... Oh no, Underworld does not have an encounter here. Underworld, how do we do an Underworld encounter? It's just a normal wilderness encounter. Okay. He's in the Underworld, but he just does a normal... Yeah, it has to be Dathleen or the Moon. So those guys don't... They're kind of in the... They're just in the entryway. So let's just give him a normal encounter. Well, anticlimactic, but that's fine. It's wilderness encounter. It says a family of cannibals trap you in their ramshackle hut. So a family of cannibals traps him in his ramshackle hut. If he passes, you break 3 and leave with an item that belonged to one of their previous victims. Gain 1 random magical asset from the deck. Okay, that's awesome. So he gets a magical asset, and I will get it to him. And then Tony Morgan is on the moon. He also will just do a normal encounter. And this says, nothing grows in this dusty gray landscape. Well, that's appropriate. And the air makes you sick to your stomach. Okay. So air makes him sick to his stomach. He passes. If you pass, you find a strange object in a crater. Gain 1 artifact. Wow, awesome. So he's also gained an artifact. So this is off to a good start. Everybody's gained something. Let us go ahead now, finishing up our encounters phase, and we'll grab our first mythos phase. Oh, the other thing is, before I grab the mythos, let's just grab our active mystery too. So I didn't read the active mystery yet. So here's the cool art of Atlach-Natcha. It's a great looking character. It says, the sleeper of Nakai, in the deep hollows of the earth. Was there some special thing I had to do? A chance encounter adventure. I think a chance encounter. Is that a special one that I'm supposed to do? No, okay, that's fine. Okay, let's grab this one. Okay. Sleeper of Nakai, in the deep hollows of the earth, the lightless cavern of Nakai, a squat toad-like abomination, commands formless servants to venture forth and bring him living flesh in the tribute to his horrific splendor. When this card enters the play, spawn the Sleeper of Nakai, epic monster on Space 9. At the end of the mythos phase, if the Sleeper of Nakai epic monster has been defeated, solve this mystery. So I'll go through and grab him out of the epic monster chart and put him on Space 9. I'll just put a die here to remind us. Afterwards, okay, that maybe he can clean up those after he comes back from the moon. Okay, now we'll go to our mythos phase. So mythos phase. So first of all, we move the doom forward. We advance the active omen. And we have a gate open on red, so that does not get affected. And that means the doom clock doesn't move forward. Reckoning. We do have a reckoning in this marking of Isis here. And it says test and flip the card. It says resolve the effects based on your results. If you rolled any ones, discard this card. The markings begin to fade. So the markings of Isis, he's lost his spell already. Well, that happens. Other reckonings, I believe that there's one for Atlach-Natcha here. It says spawn one gate unless investigators as a group discard a total number of clues and spells equals to half. So we spawn another gate. And that's at Dalath-Lean. And I will grab a monster for that gate. So things are already starting up here. We got a cultist from the Dreamlands. And then finally, again, spawn a gate. This is going to get ugly fast, it feels like. And we've got one in Celiphaeus. So we've got another monster spawned. This time it's a haunting horror. Haunting horror gets spawned. Okay, so now let's get into our Mythos card. Best man for the job. You know that the others would be willing to take the burden from you if they only could. But there simply is no other option. There is no one who both knows the dark secrets and possesses the rare expertise to put that knowledge to use. Event. An investigator with a talent condition may gain a cursed condition. If no investigator gains the condition, each investigator loses 2 health and 2 sanity. Are you kidding me? Wow. No one has a talent condition, so we've got to go through with this. So everybody loses 2. That is brutal. Wow, that is tough. And he loses 2, so he can get 1 and 1 back. 7, right? 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Wow. That is rough going there. So these guys also losing 2. And these guys also losing 2. So I think there's a rest coming up in next phase to heal some of that damage. Okay, that's going to do it for round 1. Thank you guys for watching. Click the link ahead in the playlist, and we'll keep going into the Dreamlands. It looks like we'll have encounters in Dalath-Lean, Celiphaeus. We have a Enchanted Wood mystery as well, so we'll go check that out. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next turn. Bye-bye.